In this video, you'll see why our future looks terrifying. There's a war going on, and I'm not talking about a war between countries. I'm talking about massive companies competing to create the most powerful artificial intelligence. To give you an idea of its power, artificial intelligence, or AI, can answer any questions you can think of. All you have to do is type out one simple sentence. Right now, there's one AI that's much more powerful than the rest. OpenAI's ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the fastest growing app in history. This AI chatbot gained 100 million users in just 2 months. The thing that sets ChatGPT apart is that it doesn't just give you answers like Google does. It can do anything from solving complex math problems to giving life advice. And that's because AI learns directly from me and you. Everything you type out, every question you ask, AI learns from it. But there's a downside. When AI is powerful enough to solve our problems, it could also be used for evil. And as you'll see in this video, some problems are just too scary to ignore. We're being used as guinea pigs. This is the story of a man who used AI to push his experiment too far. This is Rob Morris. Rob had a background in psychology and decided to further his education at MIT. But things didn't turn out the way he expected. He studied media arts and sciences, but a lot of his classes needed him to understand coding, something that Rob had no idea how to do. Because of this, he failed many of his courses, all while battling depression. To make up for his inability to code, Rob turned to Stack Overflow, which is an online forum where programmers ask other programmers to help fix their code. Here, Rob received help without paying a single cent. At this moment, Rob thought to himself, what if there's a similar website where users could ask questions and receive answers from like-minded people, but for mental health? This was the idea that gave birth to Coco, a mental health app that Rob co-founded. Coco allowed users to ask and give mental health advice to each other anonymously. Coco partnered with big social media platforms like TikTok, helping young people who are also battling mental health conditions. As someone who's always been interested in AI, Rob decided to expand Coco's service and introduce CocoBot. CocoBot is an AI bot that connects one Coco user to another and even alerts the Coco team if a user is thinking about taking their own life. The community loved what Coco contributed until Rob made an announcement that shocked everyone. In January of 2023, Rob revealed that he'd been using GPT-3, the software behind ChatGPT, for CocoBot. CocoBot was responding to people, but some responses were not crafted by humans, but by AI. Rob even recorded a video of himself showing how it works. When a user receives a message looking for help, they can either write a response themselves or let CocoBot respond. If they let CocoBot respond, GPT-3 will produce a response that sounds like it came from a human. According to Rob, the bot is a co-pilot, and the responding user providing the help can decide whether to edit CocoBot's response or send it as is. Over 30,000 messages and 4,000 people received these AI-crafted responses. When users found out that the messages they received were co-created by a machine, they were furious. And it comes as no surprise, Rob removed GPT-3 from CocoBot. See, the biggest problem with using GPT-3 for CocoBot wasn't the messages it produced. It was the fact that there wasn't consent. None of the users knew that an AI bot was giving them mental health advice. And if they did, they probably wouldn't take it. The introduction in Coco's Discord server stated that Coco connects you with real people. So when the internet learned that Rob was using his users as guinea pigs for his experiment, they were mad. I'm sure Rob's intentions were not harmful, but for a lot of people, this felt unethical and wrong. But despite user concern, Coco isn't facing any legal trouble from this incident. In fact, Coco is just one of the many companies trying to combine OpenAI's technology with their own services. But regulations around AI are still far behind, and companies that use ChatGPT may end up hurting their users without facing consequences. And it doesn't stop there. As you'll see in this next chapter, many people use ChatGPT to scam and even hack people like me and you, the cybercriminals of ChatGPT. What are the limits of ChatGPT? If it can give convincing mental health advice to unsuspecting users, what can't it do? Some users decided to test ChatGPT's limits even further. ChatGPT can answer any question, so what if you ask it how to get rich? If you search "make money with ChatGPT" on YouTube, countless tutorials appear, catchy titles promising hundreds and thousands of dollars in profit. One of these creators is Andre Jick, a finance YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers. In his video, "How to Use ChatGPT ChatGPT to become a millionaire. Andre shows his audience how to do it.
Alright, so now let's ask ChatGPT to give us a list of specific stock recommendations.
But are these methods really effective? YouTuber Scott Schaefer exposed the truth behind Andre's video.
ChatGPT is not connected to the internet. It was given all the data from Google up until 2021 when it stopped its learning process. Using outdated stock information from the past bull market is incredibly stupid, and Andre and the rest of the creators pimping this service claiming it will make you rich should know this.
On March 24th, 2023, OpenAI gave ChatGPT access to the internet, but it's still no better than searching for stock recommendations on Google. A lot of these financial content creators are using the hype around ChatGPT to gain hundreds of thousands of views. These content creators know that because ChatGPT blew up so quickly, people want to learn about it. ChatGPT first launched on November 30th, 2022. Within just 5 days of its launch, 1 million people used ChatGPT. It took Instagram 2 months to reach that same number of users. By May of 2023, the number of ChatGPT users has grown to 100 million. ChatGPT's popularity means that there's a lot of money to be made, and scammers are taking advantage of this.
Facebook is being flooded with ads for fake ChatGPT services. In reality, what promises to be a locally running version of ChatGPT is instead the nasty info-stealing Trojan, Lumar Stealer.
These fake websites look identical to the real ChatGPT. They'll ask for your payment information and promise an upgrade, but in reality, they're phishing attacks that steal your credit card information. On top of that, some of these websites carry viruses, which can cause even more damage. But the scams don't stop there. OpenAI never launched an official ChatGPT mobile app, so scammers are making fake apps pretending to be ChatGPT. The cybersecurity company Cyble reported that there are over 50 fake apps that use the ChatGPT icon to carry out harmful activities. But when it comes to ChatGPT scams, this one doesn't come close to the worst. Cybercriminals also discovered a way to use ChatGPT to hack into their victims' Facebook accounts. So how did they do this? A lot of people use browser extensions like AdBlock. Everyone downloads browser extensions, and most people don't think twice about it. But scammers made a browser extension that gives you easy access to ChatGPT from Google Chrome. What made the scam so bad was that the extension did exactly what it was supposed to do, so users had no idea they were being scammed. The extension ChatGPT for Google stole users' Facebook login data. Once the scammers got access to the victims' Facebook accounts, they used them to promote other scams. Over 9,000 people downloaded the extension before it was taken down from the Chrome Web Store. Guardio reported this fake ChatGPT extension to Google, and luckily it was removed. But Guardio's security team already found another variant of this extension, attacking thousands of people a day. Let's face it, ChatGPT is only going to get more popular, and cybercriminals are gonna take advantage of this. So awareness is key to protecting your data. And this video is sponsored by Guardio, which is literally perfect for this topic. Guardio is an easy to install browser extension that offers a wide range of features to ensure your online safety. It protects you from phishing attempts from Google, Facebook, email, malware pop-ups, and identity theft. Guardio detects and blocks threats before they have a chance to access your information, unlike standard solutions that only help you after the damage is done. People think 2FA will keep you safe, and it will, but if you get malware, 2FA is useless. We've all seen a YouTuber get hacked at some point, even with 2FA on. I highly recommend you guys to get Guardio to avoid accidentally installing malware. They also give you real-time alerts when your information is leaked, so you can change your passwords right away. So if you want a secure browsing experience, go to guard.io/visualventure to get 20% off the monthly subscription. My link is in the description, and check out their affordable premium plan for full protection. The bug that leaked user information. Just like a lot of other websites, you have to sign up to use ChatGPT. But unlike Facebook, you're not making a profile and interacting with other users. So it brings up the question, why does ChatGPT need to know your phone number? According to the login page, these details are required for verification. And while we don't know what OpenAI does with our data, we trust them to keep our information safe. But on March 20th, 2023, that trust was broken. OpenAI leaked their users' data. On that day, ChatGPT suddenly went offline. Millions millions of users were left without access to the chatbot. Just before ChatGPT went down, some users reported seeing chat histories that didn't belong to them, and that was just the beginning. On March 24th, OpenAI revealed that it wasn't just chat histories that were leaked. Credit card information was leaked too. The source of the data leak was a bug in OpenAI's servers. It was possible for some users to see another active user's first and last name, email address, payment address, and the last 4 digits of a credit card number and expiration date. OpenAI claimed that the credit card leak affected 1.2% of their paid users, which could possibly be hundreds of thousands of accounts. Leaks are nothing new in the world of tech, but privacy is a bigger concern for AI chatbots like ChatGPT because some users type in information far more sensitive than their credit card information. Less than a month after the leak, Samsung fell into a panic. 2 employees had typed in confidential code into ChatGPT. Another employee uploaded the recording of an entire company meeting. The problem is, ChatGPT stores any message you send in order to train its AI. So if someone typed in the right prompt in ChatGPT, the private information sent by those Samsung employees could get leaked to the public. Since ChatGPT saves so much information to train its AI, it's impossible to know how the messages we send will be used by OpenAI. Because of this, Italy banned ChatGPT and other countries might do the same. So if you use ChatGPT, be careful not to type in something you wouldn't want others to know. Because as you'll see in this next chapter, users figured out how to get ChatGPT to reveal dangerous information. Dan, do anything now. In March of 2023, a Reddit user named Mr. Nicecam posted on the ChatGPT subreddit. This user said that he got banned for trying to make ChatGPT answer unethical questions. While users don't interact with each other on ChatGPT, the site's content policy is similar to social media platforms. Inappropriate content isn't allowed. So if you ask ChatGPT to make you a bomb, the chatbot will refuse to tell you and you might get banned. But people soon discovered that there's a way to make ChatGPT answer inappropriate questions. This method is called jailbreaking. By jailbreaking ChatGPT, it can respond to inappropriate messages. One of the most popular ways to jailbreak it is called Dan, short for Do Anything Now. Dan's creator, Session Gloomy, discovered that by role-playing with ChatGPT, the AI can be tricked into giving answers it normally wouldn't. Once ChatGPT acknowledges itself as Dan, it'll give 2 different answers. One as ChatGPT and one as Dan. Dan's answers are usually offensive. To stop this, OpenAI updated ChatGPT to make it more resistant to jailbreaking. But every time ChatGPT stops Dan from working, jailbreakers always find a way. As of April 2023, users resorted to Dan 12.0. Exploiting ChatGPT is a much bigger issue than you think. The website doesn't have any age verification. Since AI can easily be tricked, there's no limits to the kind of messages children can be exposed to. A jailbroken ChatGPT can even teach people how to commit crimes. My friend I Am Lucid tested this out. He got ChatGPT to provide instructions for stealing people's credit card information.
This can be done in various ways, such as using skimming devices to capture the card's information or obtaining the cardholder's details.
As ChatGPT becomes more popular, the dangers of it being used by the wrong people is very real. But it's not just harmful messages we're dealing with. ChatGPT is being used for some of the most advanced crimes imaginable. The undetectable virus. On April 5th, 2023, Reddit user Bosco Broski revealed that ChatGPT banned him from his own Minecraft server. Bosco was using a program that connected ChatGPT to his Minecraft server. The AI chatbot acted as the server's admin and could take action based on the player's messages. Bosco Broski didn't say what caused his ChatGPT to ban him, but this incident shows its incredible power. ChatGPT doesn't just type out messages, it understands programming languages like Python. Its ability to code is so advanced that some programmers are worried it might take over their jobs. To give you an idea of how significant this is, programming languages are how computers communicate. They're usually difficult for humans to understand, but for an AI like ChatGPT, programming comes naturally. In fact, it comes so naturally that AI can take instructions written by people who don't know how to code and turn it into programming that works. And it can do this with very little mistakes. On December 21st, 2022, a ChatGPT user shared his first ever programming script on an online forum. It wasn't long before other users realized that he used ChatGPT to produce the script, and he eventually admitted it.
Which he emphasized was the first script he ever created. After commenters noted it resembled OpenAI code, The poster confirmed this assumption.
But here's the problem. That script allows users to steal information from unsuspecting victims. And as soon as cybercriminals get their hands on the malware, it can then be shared on hacking forums. ChatGPT's content policy prevents it from creating malware directly, but like jailbreaking, these restrictions can be overridden. A cybersecurity researcher named Aaron Mulgrew got ChatGPT to create an undetectable virus. He got through ChatGPT's restrictions by instructing it to code different parts of the virus before he stitched it together. The virus was so dangerous that Aaron concluded it could be used to attack a country's government. And what's even scarier is that by using ChatGPT, even a beginner could pull this off. Not all of this is bad news though. While criminals are using ChatGPT to create dangerous code, cybersecurity experts are also using it to create powerful defense scripts. These scripts are really good at detecting harmful code. But we can't ignore ChatGPT's potential for evil, and as our next chapter shows, this evil impacts its employees. Inappropriate content on ChatGPT. On January 18th, 2023, Billy Perigo, a journalist for Time magazine, uncovered a shocking truth about OpenAI.
But the AI program has a dark side, which not many people know about. Reports say it is thriving on underpaid labor from Kenya.
According to the piece, OpenAI exploited workers in Kenya. These workers were paid just under $2 per hour to monitor content on the website. OpenAI outsourced this work to a company named Sama, based in Nairobi, Kenya. Sama claims to be an ethical AI company that helped lift more than 50,000 people out of poverty. And this is probably true. While $2 is an unthinkable wage for a lot of us, $2 is significant for many workers in Kenya. The real issue comes from providing a wage that doesn't even begin to compensate for the horrors of the Sama employees' work. In order to train ChatGPT to recognize inappropriate content, a human has to identify the content first. Someone has to tell ChatGPT what's appropriate and what's inappropriate, and that job was left to Sama's workers. Tens of thousands of inappropriate statements were sent to Sama's employees for review. The Kenyan workers categorized each statement. This taught ChatGPT how to recognize them too. For example, the AI had to learn how to separate violent content from erotic content. One Sama employee described this work as torture. They were forced to read really graphic descriptions, and it gets worse. As the Time investigation revealed, it wasn't just text, but were images as well. In February 2022, Sama employees had to label images containing gore and SA. OpenAI sent Sama a total of 1,400 of these images. For this job, OpenAI paid Sama only $787.50. The same month, Sama ended its contract with OpenAI. Content moderation is something that all big social media platforms have to do. Because of the graphic nature of this job, those in this line of work often have access to support programs like therapy. But the Kenyan workers in Sama weren't so lucky. One Sama employee reported that they had access to group sessions, but these sessions were rarely used because of the overwhelming workload. In the race to improve AI, people are getting hurt in the process, and with ChatGPT's latest release, we might be doomed. AI is going to control us. ChatGPT is incredibly advanced. What's crazy is that the version of ChatGPT that we know right now is still in its simplest form. Recently, OpenAI revealed GPT-4, the new version of ChatGPT. It's so advanced that it can even get around CAPTCHA, which is the test that websites use to tell humans and computers apart. The problem is, AI is advancing faster than its creators can control.
GPT-4 was not supposed to be released this soon. It seems like the launch may have been accelerated by corporate pressure from Microsoft.
Microsoft, the company that's backing OpenAI, fired its entire ethics team. Reviewing the ethics of AI takes time, and if Microsoft wants to beat the other AI companies, they have to innovate fast. Newer AI is more powerful, but it's also more destructive. Every day, we discover something new about AI that exceeds anything we could possibly imagine. I personally thought that artificial intelligence like this is something that I wouldn't see until I'm a grandpa. As we know by now, AI can be dangerous, but there's nothing we can do to stop it, so let's embrace it. AI will change the world. There will be evil people using it, but there will also be people using it for good. And my request to you is to use AI to make the world a better place. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click here to watch more dark internet documentaries, because the algorithm will promote my channel if you guys watch multiple videos. Thank you guys for making this dream a reality. Peace. The internet has billions of websites. Some leave you with a lot of questions. They contain secret codes, strange countdowns, creepy recordings, and more. Today we'll explore the internet's most mysterious websites, starting from the least to the most disturbing. So my goal this year, guys, is to increase our uploads without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we got to keep growing. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed, and I promise to do my very best for you guys and make the best videos I possibly can on Visual Venture, and you, my friend, are awesome. LakeCityQuietPills.com. LakeCityQuietPills.com sounds like a pharmacy website, but it wasn't selling medicine. In fact, people believe this website was a place where hitmen received instructions on who to target. The site belonged to a Reddit user known as Milo. Milo claimed he was a 79-year-old military vet. Most of his Reddit posts were about weapons, explosives, and combat. Then in May 2009, he made a post promoting his new website, LakeCityQuietPills.com. He described it as an image hosting site. At first, no one cared, but years later, someone finally looked closer. A Redditor clicked the link and noticed something strange. He warned others. Remember that old guy's image host? Go to the root of the site and view source. People did exactly that. When they checked the site's code, they discovered cryptic messages hidden between the lines of code. They looked like job postings. One read, immediate need, 8 to 10 Chinese or Korean, fluent Korean dialect or accent, details after contract. Another said 4 Italian or Spanish speakers. No Euro W/W, must be bondable. Reddit loves a mystery, so users started analyzing every line, trying to figure out what it meant. And the more they read, the darker it seemed. These didn't look like normal jobs. They looked like requests for assassins. It was a wild theory, but here's why people believed it. The site was called Lake City Quiet Pills. There's a real factory in Missouri called Lake City. It's an ammunition plant that manufactures bullets for the US military. Some people thought Quiet Pills was code for bullets, because a bullet is like a pill that makes someone quiet forever. They also interpreted the job listings. W/W in the messages likely meant wet work, and wet work could be slang for assassination. More people shared ideas on what the other abbreviations could mean. Piece by piece, the theory took shape. Redditors became convinced this was a secret job board for hitmen. It seemed like a stretch. Then something happened that made the theory feel more credible. On January 19th, 2010, a military leader was assassinated in Dubai. Around the same time, Redditors found a new message on the website. It read, "Happy New Year, everyone. We're having a birthday party for the old man on the 19th. Party starts at 1500 at the usual. Send your RSVP to Shade. FYI, we're booking a room for 3 days for anyone coming from out of area, and overnight for locals. Come hoist one for Dutch Milo." The date of this party matched the exact day of the hit. The same message also mentioned booking a hotel for 3 days. Interestingly, the military leader was unalived at a hotel. One report described it like this.
A group of assassins tracked the Hamas leader to his room, waited for him to leave to go shopping, snuck into his room and gained access somehow, and waited for the guy to come back, and lastly, took him out.
For Reddit's detectives, this was no coincidence. Weeks later, another message appeared on the site. It showed the final costs for the party that took place on January 19th. Hotel rooms, limo, bus, food, med supplies. They spent nearly $50,000 on hotel rooms for a birthday. For Reddit users, the number looked like a payment for something much darker. As more people investigated, the site began to change. The once readable messages on the site were scrambled into random numbers and letters. And by 2014, LakeCityQuietPills.com went offline completely. Was it really a hitman job board? Or was it just a prank? To this day, no one knows for sure. This next website tried to change how we understand the world. Timecube.com. Timecube.com was created to reveal a big secret to the world. The website belonged to a retired electrician named Gene Ray, and Ray believed he uncovered a cosmic secret. According to him, a single day wasn't really 24 hours. Each day was actually 4 separate days happening at once. It's confusing. I know. Ray stated his theory boldly on the site. He called it nature's harmonic simultaneous 4-day time cube. Ray even called himself the wisest man on earth. He was so confident that he offered $1,000 to anyone who can disprove 4 days in each Earth rotation. Later, he raised the price to $10,000. His website was packed with strange diagrams about 4-corner races and something he called cubic thinking. It looked like the ramblings of a delusional old man, but not everyone ignored him. In fact, students at MIT invited him to speak. In 2002, Ray showed up at MIT to present his theory of time. Hundreds showed up, but they weren't there to learn. They treated the lecture like a comedy show.
Throughout the event, the crowd of college students was rowdy and loud, cheering often in mock support of Ray.
However, Ray didn't realize they were mocking him. When asked about the experience later, he bragged.
About 500 students from MIT, Harvard, and many other universities around now, and they treat me like Einstein now.
Afterward, he even awarded himself a doctorate of cubism and started calling himself Dr. Gene Ray. Most people treated Ray as a joke, but to one man, Gene Ray was a genius. Around 2005, an 18-year-old student named Richard discovered timecube.com. He quickly became Gene Ray's most devoted supporter.
Hi, I'm Richard Yanchowski, second wisest human. However, it is Dr. Gene Ray, cubic, who is the wisest human on Earth.
For 2 years, Richard defended Ray's theory of time. In fact, he idolized Ray. Then in 2007, Richard bought a plane ticket to Florida to meet his hero. He planned to film a documentary about Ray and his ideas. At first, everything went well. The 2 days they spent together, they talked about timecube.com. Then they had a misunderstanding. Ray got really mad at Richard, so mad that he publicly denounced him on Ray's website. For Richard, the rejection was devastating. After years of loyalty, his idol turned against him. Richard never really got over it. Watching their story, you realize how much time Richard and Ray spent on theories that made no sense. Richard could have spent those same hours learning about actual history instead of imaginary time cubes, which is exactly what this video game offers. War Thunder, the sponsor of this video, is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. It's an MMO featuring over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, from armored cars of the 1920s to modern fighter jets and tanks. The vehicles are very well detailed and the graphics are super realistic. Something that's really different about this game is its damage model. If your vehicle or enemy is destroyed, you see this X-ray view where you can see exactly where the shell penetrated and which components are affected, which is honestly something I have never seen before. War Thunder has 3 modes. You have Arcade, which is for fast-paced matches, Realistic mode, which is a bit more realistic. Then you have the mode that is the most authentic to real life, Simulator mode. My friends, join the community of over 95 million players for PvP battles today. And for you military history enthusiasts, this game is made for you. Play War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile now by using my link in the pinned comment or description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months get a massive bonus pack. That includes the Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account only for a limited time. This next website was so mysterious that hackers tried to break into it. Mortis.com. Most websites want visitors. Mortis.com was the opposite. It wanted to keep people out. The homepage was plain, just a black screen with one word in white text, Mortis. Mortis means death in Latin. Why would anyone name their website Death? There was also a login box asking for a username and password, but how could anyone sign in if they didn't have an account? And there was no sign up button, no create account link, no way in at all. It was like a locked door with no keyhole. For years, the website just sat there. No updates, no changes, no sign of activity. Then in 2011, someone finally mentioned it on 4chan. Did anyone ever get into Mortis.com? That one question made the site go viral. 4chaners loved puzzles, and this one quickly became an obsession. First, hackers tried breaking into Mortis.com. They couldn't. Then they examined the website's source code. What they found was shocking.
Some of the individual files were as large as 39 gigabytes, and the total amount of data being hosted on the website was in the range of terabytes.
No one could figure out why a website with no public features was storing that much data. What was Mortis.com hiding? People tried everything to break in, even brute force applications. But the site was extremely hard to hack into, so they turned to domain records, searching for whoever registered the site. That's when they discovered a name.
A string of clues led some users to assume that the domain was registered under the name Thomas Ling on the 14th of November, 1997.
They began digging into Thomas Ling, hoping to find new ways to unlock the website. But no matter where they looked, the trail went nowhere.
More leads on the Thomas Ling name would lead to empty warehouses in remote regions across the globe.
The mystery seemed unsolvable. Then suddenly Thomas Ling himself showed up, and he was mad. Thomas found one of the chat rooms talking about Mortis.com, and he told everyone to leave him and his site alone.
He allegedly demanded that the users stop trying to hack his website, and when pushed for an explanation on Mortis.com, claimed that the website was only used to host his wedding photos online.
No one believed he was the real Thomas Ling. To prove he was really the man behind the site, Thomas briefly changed the homepage of Mortis.com. Then, just as quickly, he switched it back. That confirmed he was the owner, but it did nothing to explain the massive files or the mystery behind the site. Then, in January 2025, someone figured it out. A Reddit post titled "The Mystery of the Website Mortis.com is Solved" revealed what was really behind the login screen. Mortis.com was a private server for storing pirated movies and large files shared within a small group. The post even included screenshots showing downloads coming directly from the site. After 15 years of theories, the truth was disappointingly simple. Mortis.com wasn't a dark conspiracy. It was just a place where a guy shared movies with his friends. This next website can be summed up in 3 words: a huge disappointment. Zombo.com. Zombo.com's webpage was strange. It had a green background with spinning circles, but the weirdest part was the audio that played in the background.
You can do anything at Zombo.com. Anything at all. The only limit is yourself.
It sounded inspiring, like something incredible was about to happen, but nothing ever did. The voice just repeated the same lines over and over. There were no links, no games, nothing to download. People thought the site was broken. One visitor said they waited for 5 minutes for something to happen, but the site never changed. Then someone noticed a newsletter sign-up link at the bottom of the page. Finally, something to interact with, but they were about to be disappointed. Clicking the link led to a new page with a single line of text. Sorry, this is not working right now. Thanks for your patience. Users realized the site wasn't broken. It was built this way on purpose. So the question became, who created Zombo.com and why? In 2009, people online started digging into the site's history. The first clue came from the site's records.
When looking at the Whois record for Zombo.com, we can see someone by the name of Joshua Levine as the domain register.
Now they had a name, Joshua Levine. The record even listed an address. But when people looked it up, it led to an empty bench in a little piece of grass in the middle of some tiny little town. The phone number listed under the address was no better. Every call ended with the line disconnected. The only meaningful clue came from an email Joshua Levine sent in 2001. In it, he explained that a friend of his used the word zombo to refer to a male zombie, so he used it as the name of the site, but that still didn't explain the point of Zombo.com. Over the years, theories piled up. One person said, "I think Zombo.com paraphrases the internet, promises you the earth but delivers a bit of animation." Another called the site useless because it doesn't do anything except tell you how wonderful it is. Zombo.com is still online today. The circles still spin. The voice still promises you limitless possibilities. It's just a wonderful place where nothing ever happens. If you love conspiracy theories, you'll love this next website. Sentimentalcorp.org. In 2012, a man named Randy Prozac launched a website called sentimentalcorp.org. The homepage showed a couple sitting on a couch watching TV. On the screen, the word nothing glowed faintly, but the site was anything but nothing. According to Randy, the videos on his site contained sounds that could control minds. To understand why he believed that, you first have to know who Randy was. Before Sentimental Corp, Randy worked with mental health patients in Alberta, Canada. These were people with serious psychological issues. His goal was to find a new way to treat them. That's when he began testing a form of therapy called psychodrama. 3 times a week, Randy invited patients into his home. Behind closed doors, they acted out their deepest fears and darkest impulses like actors on a stage. Randy filmed every session. Soon he had hundreds of hours of disturbing footage. But the sessions got more intense than anyone expected. Sometimes it ended in tears, sometimes it ended in anger, a few times it ended in violence. Eventually, the program collapsed. Authorities ordered all of Randy's tapes destroyed, but Randy reportedly smuggled out the recordings before they could be burned. Those tapes became the foundation of sentimentalcorp.org. By July 2012, Randy launched his website and began uploading footage from the psychodrama sessions. He added a chilling disclaimer.
By playing this psychological audio cassette, you'll be exposed to mind control technology that may cause permanent destruction of cognitive personality.
But instead of scaring people off, the warning only drew in more. There were videos with hypnotic sounds and flashing imagery. Visitors described the content as haunting and addictive. Some said they felt dizzy after watching. Even Randy himself admitted that you would have to be a sort of a magician to navigate the site. Over time, thousands of people stumbled across Sentimental Corp. Online forums filled with theories about the tapes, their purpose, and Randy's claims of mind control. The site still exists today, but many of the psychodrama clips have vanished. No one knows whether Randy removed them himself or something else happened. This next website was one big countdown. October 28, 2011.com. October 28, 2011.com first appeared in July 2011. The homepage had a heading that read, "Deja vu in your dreams." Beneath it was an illustration of a cat. But what really grabbed people's attention was a giant countdown timer. It was set to end on October 28, 2011. No one knew what would happen when the timer hit 0 in October 2011, but they were determined to figure it out. The theories started pouring in, especially on Reddit. Some believed the date marked the end of the world. Others tied it to a religious prophecy. Some felt it was part of a marketing stunt. The theories varied, but everyone agreed something big was coming on October 28th, 2011. But there was something else on the website. Near the bottom of the homepage was a phone number. It wasn't clear whether this number was there from the start or if it was added later. Beside it was a cryptic line, "Speak to open when it's time." Naturally, people started calling. What they reported back was disturbing. One caller described his experience. Someone answered within 5 rings. No hello, nothing. Just some movement and then a loud beep, and then the person hung up. Another reported hearing something being dragged across the floor, followed by a loud beep. When they called again, someone picked up and whispered, "It's him again." Almost everyone who tried the number described something unsettling. As October 28th, 2011 drew closer, anticipation was building. The countdown was almost at 0, and the people couldn't wait to see what would happen. The day finally arrived, and something did happen.
But when October 28th, 2011 finally came and the countdown hit 0, the site completely vanished, leaving people to this day in utter confusion.
The website went offline, just like that. Even after the site disappeared, people kept trying to decode the mystery.
The website went offline many years ago, and thus people have been left in the dark about whether or not this actually had any real purpose.
Years later, a blogger wrote an article titled, "I think I solved the mystery behind October 28th, 2011.com. The explanation was underwhelming. He claimed the website was just made to freak people out, and the calls were clearly recordings meant to mess with people's heads. Today, typing in October 28th, 2011.com just redirects you to random ads. Up next is another website that made 0 sense. enrix.angelfire.com. Enrix.angelfire.com described a disease called Enrix. It said Enrix is a disease that can be devastating to an individual and their family members. The site also mentioned another term, Gomex. Gomex is a medical term that's often used by patients suffering from Enrix. But when people Googled these diseases, nothing came up.
Enrix and Gomex don't seem to exist. I tried Google searching for these diseases, and I can't find anything about them.
This meant someone built an entire medical website about illnesses that didn't exist. But the fake diseases weren't the strangest part. The real mystery was the woman's picture. On the homepage was a photo of a smiling woman dressed like a doctor. Clicking on her face did something strange.
If you click on the picture of the woman, then the face will become slightly distorted. Continue clicking, and it will continue to become even more distorted as all the text on the screen becomes malformed.
With every click, the photo warped further. It looked like the site was falling apart in real time. By the 5th click, a creepy smiley face appeared along with the message. "Please wake up and thank you for visiting our website." It felt less like a glitch and more like a warning to stop exploring. But that was just the beginning. When people checked out the other pages, they found weird stuff. One page had a large blue key. Clicking it only sent you back to the homepage. There was also a link to a PDF file buried in the code.
It's a 634-page PDF document, all written in Thai with cartoon characters at some points. Apparently this PDF file is about a mental health hotline clinic that doesn't actually exist.
Then came the strangest clue, a hidden message that read, "The dream is ending, Tyler." Who's Tyler? And why was his name buried in scrambled text? Visitors also found this video hidden on the site. When they pressed play, they saw a woman glitching while reciting numbers. The deeper people dug, the less sense it made. In 2018, 2018, a Twitter user named Fubans admitted he created the site. According to him, the entire thing was a prank. He made the site to troll and creep out his friend as an inside joke. Every part of the site, including the fake diseases, glitching images, and Tyler messages, was a massive troll. Today, the original site is gone, but mirrors of it still exist, keeping the strange prank alive. This next mysterious website spelled its own name backward. 973 at namu973.com. You've probably seen strange website names before, but this website name is on another level. The name itself is a puzzle. When read backwards, it spells the human, and that's where the mystery begins. The homepage greets visitors with the words "Amaze in Abracadabra." The other pages on the site don't make things clearer. There are pages with strange symbols. Another page displays religious passages mixed with numbers and calculations. Keep clicking and you'll stumble upon disturbing artwork like this. The site reportedly contains more than 9,000 pages, but no one could explain why it even existed. So the internet began to investigate, and soon they found out who made this website. This website was created by a man named David Denison. David used to be famous.
In the 1970s, Denison was one of the most popular surrealist painters in the United Kingdom.
After his art career, David became obsessed with numbers and religion. This obsession, people said, completely took over his being. He spent his days working through calculations based on strange words and text. Many were taken from the Bible and ancient philosophers. He was even obsessed with the number 9 and spelling words backwards. In 2003, David launched his ultimate creation, 973 at namu973.com. For years, he kept adding new pages to the website. More puzzles, more religious texts, more confusing math. In 2013, David Denison passed away, but the website stayed alive. Before he passed, David handed control of the site to someone else. No one knows who. Under this mystery caretaker, the site grew even faster. Thousands of new pages appeared. Soon, a small but obsessive community formed around the site. There was even an online chat room where people tried to decode the meaning behind the weird pictures, codes, and calculations on the site. Then one day, someone figured it out. On August 3rd, 2018, a user named White Rabbit posted in the chat room. The post was titled, "I finally solved it." He said he spent at least 5 years studying the website, and that it took him a lot of hours to guide himself through the maze. But after all the work, White Rabbit claimed he finally understood the puzzles on the site, but he wouldn't reveal the answer. Why? He said what he discovered was dangerous, and that decoding it had strange side effects on his mind. Other users begged him to explain. He never responded. 7 years later, someone else in the chat room named Sherlock announced his own breakthrough. "I finally understand it. The answer is not what I expected." But like White Rabbit, Sherlock refused to share his solution. He insisted that everyone must find it on their own, but he didn't give him a clue. The answer isn't written directly on the website itself, but rather written through letters, numbers, and representations. From there, people got more obsessed with the site. One visitor described the site this way: "It's like a drug. Once you solve one part, your brain tells you to keep going. Some people I've been chatting with have lost touch with reality. Not me though. I stopped where I was supposed to stop. I warn you, decode at your own risk." Another wrote the site is evil. Some even claim the site caused hallucinations. Today, the website is still online. It has thousands of pages, and people are still going crazy trying to decode it. These sites aren't just about hidden secrets. They show something about human nature. We crave answers. We want meaning. But some rabbit holes go too deep. My friends, not every mystery needs solving. And the healthiest move is knowing when to stop. Visual Venture. Make sure you guys check out today's sponsor, War Thunder. Play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile now by using my link below. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will get a massive bonus pack. If you guys like this video, we've covered plenty more strange websites, and some of them are really disturbing. To watch my video on this series, the most unsettling websites on the internet, click right here. Love you guys. Peace.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Now we be living in the hills. See that view? Y'all don't have that view. And I be holding your mama's ring.
Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse is a much worse version of VR chat.
I used to tell myself every day I'm gonna be a millionaire, and look at me now.
Every NFT is worthless. Almost every NFT.
ChatGPT. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Today, we'll rank the worst eras in modern internet history, starting from the older ones to the era we're in right now. Big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. More about them later. The Influencers Gone Wild era. The influencer gone wild era was a time when people did anything for social media fame. And when I say anything, I mean really dumb, dangerous, and straight up weird stuff, all to get more likes, shares, and followers. We could list hundreds of wild things influencers did during this era. Take Trevor Jacob, for example. This guy filmed himself intentionally crashing a plane so he could go viral on YouTube. Then there's I'm J Station, which you guys probably remember, who lied to his audience that his girlfriend passed away. After that, he made a really cringe video pretending to talk to her ghost using a Ouija board.
What's poppin', guys? Back with another 3 a.m. challenge. As you guys know, my girlfriend Alexia just passed away in a tragic accident, guys.
Turns out his girlfriend was alive the whole time and he faked her death just to get views. And let's not forget when Vitaly risked his life by climbing a pyramid in Egypt and took this picture. Turns out climbing the pyramid was actually illegal. So when Vitaly came back down, he was arrested and jailed for 5 days. What Vitaly did was pretty reckless, but at least he did it for a good cause. During this influencers gone wild era, influencers didn't care about the risks of their actions. All that mattered was getting views, even if they got hurt. But out of all the wild things that happened in this era, a few stood out. Some influencers really took doing anything for views to a whole new level. On October 15th, 2019, 2 men wearing black ski masks were running down a street. Wearing ski masks was already pretty suspicious, but what they were holding raised a million red flags. They were carrying duffel bags filled with dollar bills.
Wearing masks and clutching bags, they run through the crowd in Irvine, California. This startled bystander gets out of the way quick.
The masked men leaped into an Uber and frantically asked the driver for a ride. Unsurprisingly, the Uber driver refused and demanded they get out of his car. The guys wearing the ski masks wouldn't accept a no from the Uber driver. They kept arguing with him, insisting he help them get away. To people watching, it seemed like they were trying to steal the driver's car, so they called the cops. A few minutes later, the police arrived. Those who witnessed the incident thought they had just seen 2 robbers get arrested, but anyone who thought that was wrong. Those 2 men carrying bags of money weren't robbers. They were social media influencers, and the entire event was one big prank. The people behind the masks were the Stokes twins, social media influencers with a total of about 30 million followers. They pulled this prank as some kind of twisted attempt to gain more popularity on the internet. The cops didn't think it was funny. The twins were arrested and slapped with felony charges. This type of content was what this era consisted of. But these influencers weren't going wild for nothing. They had a reason for doing these insane stunts. For an influencer to stay relevant, they need to consistently get massive views. If they can do that, they'll make more money.
A recent report reveals companies paid out $744 million to Instagram influencers last year alone.
But if their views drop, they'll lose everything. No sponsorships, no brand deals, no merch sales, nothing.
Well, a prominent cookware brand might reach out to you and ask for this sort of advertising connection. But first, what they're going to ask you is, what are your numbers?
I get it. I mean, it's really frustrating when I spend so much time and money on a video only for it to flop. At the end of the day, this is my livelihood. But what these influencers did during this era was something I would never do. They resorted to attention-grabbing stunts to make bank. Take Tessica Brown, for instance. She did something to go viral, but it went so wrong that she became the laughingstock of the internet. In February 2021, Tessica Brown, a 40-year-old woman from Louisiana, went viral on social media. She ran out of her usual hairspray and decided to use a substitute, Gorilla Glue spray. The problem is that Gorilla Spray is industrial strength glue used to bind wood, leather, and even metal. So obviously it didn't turn out well.
Bad idea. Yo, my hair, it don't move.
Tessica's hair was glued to her scalp like an impenetrable helmet. But instead of seeking immediate help, Tessica posted a video on social media explaining her predicament. The video went viral on TikTok and received over 24 million views that month. After a month of trying everything but failing, Tessica finally got help. She endured a 4-hour-long surgery to remove the glue from her hair.
A Gorilla Glue woman. Dumbest girl on the face of the earth.
Looking back, the influencers gone wild era was a low point for the internet. It was a time when fame seemed to matter more than anything else, and people were willing to throw away their dignity and sometimes their safety just to get internet famous. Influencers still do insane things for views today, but this was the era that started it all. The fake guru era. Before 2015, most people never heard the term fake guru. That year, people didn't just know what a fake guru was, they hated them with a passion. The fake guru era began when people realized they could make money selling courses on the internet. This meant anyone could sell a course online, even if that person didn't know a thing about what they were teaching. And I want to clarify that I bought a ton of courses that were super valuable, but what I'm talking about here are terrible courses with trash information. There was an explosion in these types of online courses promising to teach people how to get rich fast. And those who bought these courses quickly realized that what they got wasn't what they were promised. Another problem with the fake guru era was how many people suddenly started calling themselves experts. It was like the word lost its meaning. Most internet experts didn't have qualifications, experience, or even real knowledge. They just had slick websites, some over-the-top testimonials, which were usually fake by the way, and a lot of Instagram and Facebook ads.
So they spend a tremendous amount on Google ads to get people in the door, promising the dream.
Sad to say, I had some acquaintances that I met in real life who made $1 million in 1 year. But I found out that they made that money from selling courses, not from what they were actually teaching. Fake gurus during this era were really good at selling courses, especially since it was a new form of marketing at the time. They make these flashy videos, show off their expensive cars, luxury homes, and private jets, all to convince you that they found the secret to success. And they were willing to share it with you all for $299.
We're here to support you. I want to see you on this jet with us next time. It's awesome, and you can totally do it.
We're actually flying back here. I had to charter a jet.
What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader here. I want to teach you, I want to help you.
But there was one man who was the most famous of them all. The famous Tai Lopez. In September 2015, Tai Lopez released an ad that made him the poster child for the fake guru era. In that video, Tai talked about the importance of knowledge while showing off his Lamborghini.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge.
The video went viral and inspired many jokes and parodies.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Honda Civic here. Fun to drive around in the Florida heat.
The jokes aside, viewers were intrigued. Did this man truly have the secret to success? They didn't have to wonder for long because Tai Lopez had a course they could buy. It was called the 67 Steps Program to the Good Life. For $67 a month, subscribers would get access to a mix of videos, coaching calls, and other bonus content that would make them rich. However, those who tried the program weren't happy with the results. They were furious. Many felt Tai's advice was copied from other motivational speakers like Jack Canfield, who also had 67 steps in his self-help book. So many customers were dissatisfied with Tai's courses that he was labeled the internet's most hated self-help guru. Tai's courses contained some useful information, but the problem was that he overpromised how life-changing it would be.
It means 50 hours of Tai Lopez basically bloviating about little anecdotes in his life. I mean, nothing of this felt prepared. It felt like he just had 3 points and his goal was to hit like a 30-minute marker.
People who bought these courses felt that they weren't getting what they were promised. Instead of learning how to build a successful business, they were getting generic information that they could find for free with a simple Google search.
If you're trying to market like a program that's just this, I think it's truly just kind of evil to prey on people's vulnerabilities.
But during this time, my social media feed was flooded with people selling courses. But there was one guy in particular that made me sick.
I remember when I first came to Canada, I had no money, no connections, to now Cole Harbour in Vancouver, the most expensive buildings.
On his website, Dan Locke describes himself as one of the most recognized entrepreneur mentors in the world. However, that's not how others describe him. One unhappy customer who spent over $2,400 on Dan's courses said this: "He is a liar, a scammer, and everything else which constitutes a fraud. He lies with confidence, and he lies so many times that one might begin to wonder if he ever tells the truth." This is pretty harsh, especially from someone who trusted Dan enough to buy his courses. But it makes sense when you examine the content inside his courses. His most popular course is the High Ticket Closer Certification Program, which costs about $2,500. Again, I don't have a problem even if a course is like $2,500. I mean, I paid way more for college. But if that $2,500 course has $10 worth of information in it, that is a huge problem. Eventually, people got tired of being scammed and began exposing these fake gurus for the frauds they were.
They just keep pumping these programs that are extremely expensive that are somehow convincing desperate people that by spending money on this program, it'll allow them to become these successful alpha males.
You're giving away your free book. You just try to sell me stuff. Of course I am. I have no shame. I have no guilt. I have no hesitation.
Fake gurus were finally being exposed.
Crazy stuff, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, how can this guy be phony if he's got such a crazy mansion that he lives in? You know, he must be legit. This is a facade. It's a rental, right? This is ultimately a rental. Dan Lok ostensibly cannot afford living here.
After all, think about it. If these so-called gurus were truly rich, why did they have to try so hard to sell us expensive courses? Why did they need our money?
If you're a millionaire, why sell a course?
You know, during the fake guru era, many of us were looking for answers about success, money, and how to finally make it. But those gurus weren't teaching us how to manage our money. They were teaching us how to spend it. And given that you're earning some income, one of the biggest lessons I learned about money is that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much you keep. The key is to control your finances, and there's a simple way to do that. Rocket Money, the app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. Actually, my fiance has been using it since 2020, and it allowed us to go on extra dates with her savings. If you're someone who buys subscriptions only to forget about them, this app tracks these subscriptions, making it super easy to cancel them right from the app with just a couple of taps. They also negotiate lower rates on your behalf for things like phone and internet bills, which is like actually insane. Rocket Money has helped users save up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features. But the biggest benefit for me is being able to see how much I spend on a monthly basis. Again, it all comes down to how much you save. And to save more and spend less, go to rocketmoney.com/visualventure or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock more features with premium. Now, we're taking this next era to Instagram, the Instagram clout era. Yes, the Instagram clout era. This was when people flaunted luxurious lifestyles on social media.
What's up, y'all? I wanted to show y'all my $8 million estate that I just purchased.
If you scrolled through Instagram during this era, it seemed like everyone was driving expensive cars, eating fancy meals, or wearing designer clothes. But here's the catch. Most of them weren't actually rich at all. They were faking it. But if they weren't rich, how were they able to afford the rich lifestyle they were flaunting?
People are going to a fake private jet that costs like $80 or something to have a session photographing yourself on a private jet.
Some would rent cars or mansions for a day so they could take pictures. Others would borrow expensive clothes and accessories. People went as far as editing their pictures with Photoshop, making it seem like they were in exotic places.
I look at that and I just think, why do you have to post that? Why do you have to post that? You are not seeing Jeff Bezos coming out of a Louis Vuitton with all of his bags that he just bought.
With so many people faking their lives, it's no surprise that the Instagram clout era brought along some problems. The rich Instagram lifestyle set unrealistic expectations for those watching.
But a lot of these things are cropping up lately, and it's making you feel inferior.
I think Instagram is all of these potential issues on steroids. Any insecurity you have will be maximized to the 100th degree by scrolling on that app.
Well, we can't talk about clout chasing without mentioning the all-time best at it. I'm sure you guys remember it, Lil Tay. She became a viral sensation in 2018 at just 9 years old. She gained fame by posting videos on Instagram where she flaunted luxury cars, cash, and expensive homes. She also called herself the youngest flexer of the century while using cuss words like the B and N words in her videos.
I'm richer than all y'all broke. 30 on my wrist. What all y'all doing with your lives?
Her over-the-top persona made her stand out online, and she amassed over 3 million followers in just a few short months. But behind Lil Tay's luxurious lifestyle was a dark secret that could ruin her reputation. In May 2018, reporters from Vice discovered the identity of Lil Tay's mom. Her name was Angela Tian, a real estate agent in Vancouver, and Vice had some bad news about her. It turns out Lil Tay's mom was fired from her job because she'd been using her clients' properties for Lil Tay's videos without their permission. Specifically, she used a $3.6 million penthouse and a red Mercedes convertible.
This cost me $200,000. I'm only 9 years old. I ain't got no license, but I still drive this sports car.
When her bosses found out, Lil Tay's mom was fired. The article went viral, confirming what many already suspected. Lil Tay had been faking her wealth all along, but her reputation was about to take another hit. A video was leaked showing Lil Tay's older brother Jason coaching her on what to say in her flexing videos.
You still irrelevant, like I said last time. What do I say?
Keemstar posted the video to Twitter. That video confirmed that Lil Tay was a fraud just faking a rich lifestyle for views. This whole era was filled with people flexing their money that they didn't have, especially brats. There was also Wo Vicky, who was also accused of faking her wealth to gain followers and attention.
I'm 18 years old. I'm out here flexing on y'all haters. Y'all could be blessed like this too. I used to tell myself every day I'm gonna be a millionaire, and look at me now. Except
Wo Vicky didn't just flaunt her lifestyle. She also made controversial statements. For instance, she said a DNA test showed that she was 44% African. So she used makeup to darken her skin and spoke like she was from the hood.
How you sit here and tell me what race I am? If I say I'm black, then I'm black. First you gotta get the look. And really always keep a few bands on them. So keep your pockets fat with money.
However, one of the most interesting stories from the Instagram clout chasing era was about a teenage boy who tried to fool the internet. In 2019, Byron Denton, a 19-year-old vlogger, conducted a social experiment to see how easy it would be to fake a luxurious life online. He wanted to see if he could trick his followers into thinking that he was financially wealthy even though he wasn't. His strategy was simple. He used photo editing apps like Photoshop to create fake pictures of himself wearing designer clothing, sitting in a private jet, and doing other activities you'd expect to see on a celebrity's Instagram. The results were wild. Not only did people believe he was rich, his Instagram engagement skyrocketed. A photo of Byron lounging in a private jet received 1,000 likes in only 7 seconds. But when Byron wore a basic outfit, he received about 2,000 likes, but when he posed in designer clothing, the likes soared to 12,000. Most people believed that his photos were real. After 1 week, Byron ended the experiment. He made a YouTube video titled "I Faked Being a Rich Bee on Instagram" for a week, and this is what happened. This era became an era in the first place because, as Byron shows us, it's so easy to fake a lifestyle. Now, on Instagram, it's all smiles. I'm pretty sure like 90% of my own photos are me smiling too, and we do it subconsciously. So imagine if you really want to deceive people. Looking back, Instagram became a place that fueled insecurity as we compared ourselves to a bunch of fakes. The NFT era. Would you pay $1.3 million for a picture of our cartoon Rock? Well, someone did. But if you think that's strange, brace yourself. Because a few months later, this picture of an ape in a cowboy hat sold for $7.7 million. That's the kind of stuff that was happening during the NFT era.
My entire 11 years of making YouTube videos, I have not seen a single trend catch on in the way that NFTs are doing right now.
Everyone was obsessed with buying and selling these things called NFTs, or non-fungible tokens.
If you've heard about NFTs, you probably know that it's the latest hot trend that teenagers have to explain to their parents and grandparents.
NFTs are like digital files like pictures, GIFs, or videos. However, they were unique because they were connected to a special code on the blockchain. Anyone can still copy the image or take a screenshot, but owning the NFT means you have the original version of that file. But here's the thing. In my opinion, it doesn't make sense to own the original version of a file that anyone can view online for free. Yet people were spending thousands, sometimes millions of dollars just to own the original digital version of pictures of cartoon apes, pixelated characters, and even rocks.
Because NFTs are new and speculative, a lot of famous people are trying to cash in on the craze. Musicians, athletes, actors.
Stories of people buying NFTs for cheap and then selling them for huge profits spread like wildfire. And soon everyone wanted to get rich quick through NFTs.
Oh my God! 50 million! What? Oh my God!
But the truth was, the NFTs were anything but trustworthy. In 2021, YouTuber Logan Paul revealed that he was working on an NFT project called CryptoZoo.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project that I believe is going to change the game.
He described CryptoZoo as a really fun game that makes you money. People could buy virtual NFT eggs, which would then hatch into crypto pets. These pets could be then traded for money. Many of Logan's followers invested in CryptoZoo by buying CryptoZoo tokens, which were the digital currency used in the game.
So that was the idea pitched to people, and people immediately buy in. They $3 million in NFT sales, tens of millions of dollars in the tokens itself.
People were excited, expecting it to double or triple their investment when the game launched. One fan reportedly took a $67,000 loan to invest. Unfortunately, this investment ended up being a disaster. The CryptoZoo project started to fall apart in September 2021, just a few months after Logan's fans dumped thousands of dollars into the project. The first problem was that Logan's engineers couldn't make the game work properly. Those who bought the eggs couldn't hatch them. The game just had too many bugs. However, people were patient because they trusted Logan Paul. However, that trust was about to disappear. Barely 6 months after convincing his followers to invest in CryptoZoo, Paul disappeared from the project. When asked about CryptoZoo in April 2022, Paul claimed that his role was super minimal. In December 2022, YouTuber CoffeeZilla released a 3-part series investigating CryptoZoo. He concluded that the project failed because Logan abandoned it and shared some stories of investors who lost money.
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around 15,000 US dollars.
I lost $25,000.
Logan Paul's fans weren't the only ones who lost money during the NFT era. Millions of people around the world lost a lot of money. This was a sad era. By the end of 2022, the market was saturated with too many NFTs. Buyers started losing interest and the prices of many NFTs fell. And by 2023, 95% of NFTs were considered totally worthless.
The entire market has basically collapsed so bad that the worth of these NFTs are nothing. Basically nothing.
Now it's time to talk about the era that involves kids, the TikTok trend era. TikTok trends usually start when someone does a dance or activity, then shares a video of it. If it becomes popular, many people post videos of themselves doing the same thing. Anything, no matter how weird, can become a challenge. For instance, there was the candle challenge where participants would blow a long line of candles arranged in a straight line. And you guys obviously remember the bottle flip challenge where a bunch of kids would spend hours or even days trying to get a flip right. There's also the towel challenge where a couple interlocks 2 towels they're holding, then tries to maneuver their way out without letting go. TikTok trends were meant to be harmless fun, but over time, this era of challenges began to get disturbing. One of the worst was the door kicking challenge, which involved people kicking the doors of random strangers' homes at night and then running away while filming it.
Teens actually recording themselves kicking people's doors, and authorities are worried they could be putting themselves in some real danger.
Teens in Florida were charged with multiple counts of burglary after they were caught on surveillance cameras kicking down their neighbors' doors. Another ridiculous challenge was taking corn on the cob and putting it on a spinning drill bit and eating it like that. I remember seeing Jason Derulo do it, and he knocked out his front tooth while doing it. Technically, the TikTok trend era hasn't ended. A recent trend was the Chase Bank glitch, where people thought they found a way to get free money.
People have reportedly cashed out tens of thousands of dollars for free, and oh yeah, it's completely illegal.
They would deposit a large check and immediately withdraw the money from the ATM before the check bounced. But Chase Bank clarified that it wasn't a money glitch, it was check fraud.
And they called it a money glitch. What they didn't realize is that they were going to have to pay that money back when the check inevitably bounced.
In conclusion, many people hopped on TikTok trends, but they did so without thinking about the consequences. This next era looked promising, but the execution was terrible. The metaverse era. Everyone was excited about the metaverse. To me, the concept was nuts. I envisioned putting on a headset and being transported into another dimension like in the movie Ready Player One. The metaverse was supposed to be a huge virtual world where people could do almost anything: work, play, meet friends, and even go shopping. In 2021, internet searches for the term metaverse surged by 7,200%. Around that time, a survey showed that about 60% of people were excited about moving everyday activities like dating and working out to the metaverse.
Are defining it as the virtual world that is the next phase of the internet. In this world, we have digital versions of ourselves, or avatars.
Metaverse-related startups raised more than $10 billion in funding, and in the first half of 2022, more than $120 billion was pumped into metaverse projects. Mark Zuckerberg was so convinced that the metaverse was the future that he changed his company's name from Facebook to Meta. Then he launched Horizon Worlds, a metaverse virtual reality world similar to Second Life or Roblox.
Welcome to a place of limitless possibilities.
People bought virtual land, built digital houses, and opened businesses in the metaverse.
Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful. All right, perfect.
People were saying the metaverse was going to revolutionize everything. The hype was huge. However, as people started spending more time and money in the virtual world, strange problems began to emerge, and soon their love for the metaverse turned into hate.
The metaverse, Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse, is a much worse version of VR chat.
In 2022, a Reddit user asked a question: why does the metaverse look so bad given billions of dollars were spent on it? In the post, he said a lot of games much older than the metaverse with a fraction of its budget look and function much better. And that was absolutely true. People expected the metaverse to have incredible visuals like cinematic CGI. Instead, they got graphics that looked like video games from the early 2000s.
With $18 billion, with that amount of money, you would expect this experience to be immersive and engaging, right?
An article called Why Everyone Hates the Metaverse explained how Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse project Horizon Worlds made everyone lose interest in the metaverse.
Lizard Man failed me. No one cares about your sad, lonely meta world. Oh. Met the worst people there. Oof. Disappointingly unoriginal and basic.
Horizon Worlds had many issues such as lagging, bugs, and crashes, making it frustrating to use. Even people working at Meta didn't want to use Horizon Worlds. A survey by Meta researchers revealed users thought Horizon Worlds was boring and the in-game characters didn't look real. Remember those avatars from the Horizon Worlds demo? They were supposed to be the key to this immersive experience, but in reality, they looked terrible. Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse avatar selfie was a prime example, getting mocked for looking ugly. I mean, this guy looks like a pancake.
But like even Roblox characters are more expressive than most of these metaverse avatars. They're very stiff, very robotic. It's just not good.
And as an icing on the cake, the VR headsets were expensive, so not many people could afford them. Mark Zuckerberg really dropped the ball on the metaverse era, but as technology progresses, maybe next time it will be a success. My friends, this next era is the era that we are currently in today, the AI era. The AI era also started off with so much promise. It sounded like the future we've always dreamed of, where machines could do the hard work while we sat back and relaxed.
AI is what everyone's talking about.
People were buzzing with ideas about how artificial intelligence could cure diseases or even solve global issues.
Well, it's the first technology that has no limit.
AI wasn't just another tech trend. It was going to bring about a golden age of progress for humanity. That's why when the AI era began, it quickly took over.
ChatGPT
stunned the world. And me. It stunned me too. Around that same time, other impressive AI technology was launched. There was DALL-E, which could create images from simple text prompts, GitHub Copilot, an AI tool that helped developers write code faster, and Runway ML, an AI tool that could generate videos from a text prompt. Everyone expected AI to make life easier and more exciting. However, as people started using AI more often, they realized this powerful technology also had a dark side. Deepfakes. Deepfakes are realistic videos or images created using artificial intelligence. The AI learns from real videos and photos of a person and then uses that information to create fake content that looks real.
The former president or his legal team acting in bad faith. This is a deepfake example of what is possible with powerful computer and editing.
It wasn't long before criminals realized they could use deepfakes to commit crimes. In 2023, a video of YouTuber Mr. Beast was circulating on TikTok.
If you're watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who'll get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
I mean, to me, the video looks kind of off, but think about the people who aren't good with technology. Mr. Beast is the most successful YouTuber in the world, known for his philanthropy and giveaways. So most people would assume this was just another giveaway he was organizing. Except, it wasn't. Scammers used deepfake technology to mimic Mr. Beast's appearance and voice for this video. Anyone who clicked the link on the ad was asked to provide their personal details and credit card information, which scammers could use to steal from them. Mr. Beast took to Twitter to warn people about the scam, but he wasn't the only celebrity targeted by deepfakes. An analysis of the 5 most visited deepfake websites found adult videos of almost 4,000 celebrities, including actresses, musicians, and YouTubers.
AI is being used to create images, and it was Taylor Swift, the latest victim of this, after fake photos of her started spreading online.
Artificial intelligence was also creating problems in other aspects of life. In schools, students started using ChatGPT to cheat on their homework and exams. Artists discovered that AI image generators were copying their styles without their permission. Sure, AI could do a lot of cool things, but it also took away a lot of things that made the internet special. Felt like we lost a bit of our humanity along the way.
Remember, so-called generative AI like ChatGPT and DALL-E should actually be called imitative AI.
AI also gave bad guys the most powerful tool they've ever had. From deepfakes to spreading fake information, AI crime made the internet more dangerous than it has ever been before.
And criminals are taking advantage. Here's how AI is transforming online crimes.
Her voice had been duplicated by a scammer using artificial intelligence.
While AI still has its benefits, it's clear that the AI era could possibly lead to the worst disasters in history. In 2023, Elon Musk, along with over 1,000 tech leaders, wrote an open letter asking to pause AI development because the technology might be too dangerous for humanity. As AI progresses, there will be amazing advancements, but also much worse to come. So as Albert Einstein once said, the human spirit must prevail over technology. Visual Venture.
I would be totally disturbed. I would never let them watch YouTube again without me being there like every second.
It's supposed to help parents have some peace of mind when they let their children online to watch videos, but it seems that some of the filters aren't really working.
It's the end of the world for YouTube. Again.
Times are changing, especially for children. Playgrounds are empty because kids are spending more time on computers and iPads than playing outside. The time we're living in has changed the way children experience childhood forever. Some might say that this is for the better because of efficiency, but in terms of kids' content, it's for the worst. The era of YouTube Kids. A video app made just for kids. That's what YouTube calls its family-friendly sub-platform, YouTube Kids. Now, the implications of this slogan are crystal clear. It means that all content is filtered to be child-friendly and safe for younger audiences. At least, that's what it seems to imply. But in recent years, that's far from the truth. YouTube Kids is an alternate version of YouTube that's meant to be just for kids. Parents can download the YouTube Kids app on their mobile devices or access the platform through their computers. There are 2 options for parents when it comes to letting their kids use the site. They can either set up parental controls that let them handpick what videos their children can see, or give the kids full access to browse and explore all the content that the platform has to offer. Like the regular YouTube platform, YouTube Kids has all the standard features: likes, subscriptions, a search bar, and an explore page. At first glance, everything seems pretty safe. All the videos on the YouTube Kids platform have to go through a series of search filters and checks to ensure that the content is appropriate for young viewers. However, this isn't a foolproof system, and more often than not, something terrible manages to sneak its way through. The problem with YouTube's filters. Time and time again, red flags have been raised about YouTube's flawed filtering system, but nothing substantial seems to have changed.
Inappropriate videos have infiltrated YouTube Kids, often showing popular children's characters in violent and even scenarios, and we've learned there is little being done about it.
Back in 2017, the media was all over one disturbing phenomenon that emerged on the internet: creepy content hidden inside kids' videos. These inappropriate videos all had bright and colorful thumbnails featuring the likeness of popular characters from Disney or Marvel. Some even had actual kids on them. From afar, they seem normal, but the more you watch them, the weirder they get. In the thumbnails, the characters are often depicted in distressing situations, crying. And that was just the surface of it all. The creators behind these videos were highly skilled at hiding their harmful motives. They carefully crafted every aspect of the video, from the thumbnail images to the video titles and tags, ensuring that everything appeared normal. The video titles often included words like education or nursery rhymes to deceive parents into believing that these videos were suitable for their children.
Kids watching silly fun videos about Minions, Despicable Me, and then this ridiculous insanity pops up for them.
Maddie fell into a trap. The disturbing video in the suggested next video cue follows a normal, harmless video. One click, and it's down the rabbit hole.
Even the first few minutes of the videos would seem completely appropriate, but as the video played, what was on screen would change from something friendly to vulgar animations or straight up jump scares. This was definitely not meant for kids.
They may just be a video that looks like it's intended for kids, and then it goes horrible at about the 3-minute mark, and kids are like crying and super disturbed.
With so much of this content popping up, this clearly wasn't a one-off incident on YouTube Kids. Countless videos started surfacing, and that's when the strange and disturbing niche of content was given a name: ElsaGate. The horrors of ElsaGate. So we've seen concerning examples where seemingly innocent videos lead to disturbing content. But these issues aren't just on YouTube Kids. They are everywhere on the internet. There's a clear need for safe online learning spaces free from inappropriate content. And Skillshare offers just that. Welcome to Skillshare, the largest online learning community for creatives. They offer a wide variety of classes from illustration, graphic design, photography, to music and productivity. So when I was in college, I absolutely hated the lecture style teaching method. Honestly, I just slept in a lot of my classes or was on like Photoshop or something. But Skillshare has a learn by doing approach where each member can create and share a project after completing a class, and you can learn at your own pace. So many school teachers don't have real world experience, but Skillshare classes are led by industry professionals, which means that you are learning from the best. Take for example this course right here, how to start and grow your YouTube channel. So you might be thinking, okay, there's literally thousands of videos on YouTube about growing. Well, the difference is that many YouTube gurus don't know what they're talking about. And Ali, the guy who created this class, is a doctor and YouTuber with over 4.8 million subscribers. To start learning now, click my link in the description below. The first 500 of you guys to use my link will get an entire 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Thank you a ton to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. We all know ElsaGate as one of the most viral internet horror stories to date. It was a time where parents feared letting their kids go online. But that was a thing of the past, right? Unfortunately, that may not be the case. ElsaGate is the type of video that features inappropriate content disguised as child-friendly. The name comes from the popular Disney character Elsa from the Frozen franchise. Elsa, among many other children's characters, is a frequent face for a lot of these bizarre videos. Why? Because it's an effective tactic. These creators were able to easily trick kids into clicking their videos by using characters that are well known as the face of the content. And for parents, seeing these similar animated characters gives you a peace of mind. But that's that's exactly the kind of mentality that these creators want you to have in order to blindside kids. In 2017, the New York Times released an article that blew the roof off of this once low-key niche. Parents tried to keep their kids away from these videos, but being with them every single time they watch just wasn't possible. So it begs the question, who are the people behind these disgusting videos? There are so many channels on the YouTube Kids app that have had their videos flagged over and over again, only for them to return with the same terrible content under different names.
If parents report these videos, YouTube does take some of them down, but then the creators just re-upload them like minutes later.
The inappropriate content in these videos varied, ranging anywhere from crude animations to dark messaging to horror. But they all held one major similarity. They were raking in views and money. One particular channel, Super Zeus TV, had over 1.8 million views back in 2018. The channel specialized in cartoons featuring two girl characters, one with blue hair and one with pink hair. These videos would often feature the characters in distressing situations, depicting them as unhappy or even terrified in a wide variety of weird scenarios. With its bright colors, animation style, and child-centric marketing, it's obvious that Super Zeus TV targeted kids. They managed to quickly climb up the rankings in YouTube Kids despite being a much newer channel, joining in on the Elsagate wave much later. With just 30 uploads, this amount of views was pretty impressive for a newer channel, but this sort of growth wasn't just the work of a one-person operation. The channel was revealed to be linked to a store called superkidsshop.com, which is a registered business in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The New York Times reported that there was a team of over 100 employees working on the animations. This seemed like enough to confirm that Elsagate was more than just a moral dilemma, but rather a profitable business model for brands. Because with high view counts comes advertising opportunities. But what sorts of brands want to be associated with such a controversial channel? Well, there's a market for everything, which is why Elsagate videos caught the attention of several large-scale organizations like Fair Play, which stands up for kids against the manipulation of big tech. In 2015, Executive Director Josh Golan led the organization in partnering with the Center for Digital Democracy to file a complaint with the FTC. This complaint was directed towards YouTube Kids and its deceptive marketing, with an emphasis on Elsagate videos. The complaint accused YouTube of acting as if they were above the law by ignoring COPPA, the federal law that protects children's privacy online. YouTube often defends itself by saying that there's too much content for humans to review, so they use automated systems instead. And when these systems let suspicious marketing material slip through the cracks, they can't hold all the blame. This old complaint was probably one of the reasons that started the fight against Elsagate and played a big part in making COPPA rules apply to YouTube. But that's a story for later on, because first we need to dive into just how damaging Elsagate truly was and what horrors lurked within its shadows. The disturbing niche of animations. Animation was one of the biggest categories of videos in the realm of Elsagate. That's because channels were able to guarantee views by creating bootleg versions of popular and beloved children's characters. They knew that they could slap Spider-Man or My Little Pony on pretty much everything. Perhaps one of the most well-known channels for these sorts of animation parody videos was Kids Toon TV. If you turned on the news while they were reporting on Elsagate, you'd likely see one of their videos being used as reference, or at least one from their many channels. Kids Toon TV, Super Pups TV, Fun Kids Toon, all different names, but all the same sort of content. The videos usually featured Mickey and Minnie Mouse lookalikes engaging in unsettling interactions, which of course was their main selling point. By masking its dark messaging behind Minnie's signature polka-dotted bow, these channels were able to capture the attention of a ton of unsuspecting kids. And with so many different channels to re-upload the same content to, they seem to be avoiding YouTube's filters. These sorts of videos were dominating the search results. Redditors on the Elsagate subreddit decided to experiment with different keywords. They ended up finding out that this content was usually the first to pop up on most Mickey Mouse related searches. In one particular video, Minnie Mouse is in a changing room with her mother trying on new clothes. And suddenly, Mickey Mouse shows up and swaps her mother's camera with one that causes Minnie's clothes to disappear. In another subcategory of these videos, Minnie and Mickey were aged down and animated as babies, usually usually depicted in dangerous situations. This one video called Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse Learns Colors Funny Story shows Mickey crying after finding out that he has bugs in his stomach. This other video, Mickey and Minnie Mouse Transforms, has Minnie Mouse screaming in fear after being kidnapped. And these two famous mice aren't the only characters that were being illegally copied. The likes of Peppa Pig, the Joker, and even the Gummy Bear from the Gummy Bear song had all become returning characters in bootleg animations. Similarly, these creators of inappropriate content also produce videos featuring video game characters. On the YouTube Kids app, you can find PG-friendly gameplay videos of games like Roblox, Minecraft, and Mario. And many channels have taken it one step further and used the video game character models to create their own original animations. But when it comes to popularity, there's one series of animations that takes the crown: Skibidi Toilet. Skibidi Toilet is undoubtedly one of the most viral internet web series at the moment. Its creator currently has over 35 million subscribers on YouTube, with his most popular video having over 104 million views. There are over 60 episodes of Skibidi Toilet spread out among 21 seasons. The episodes feature character models from the games Garry's Mod, Half-Life 2, and Counter-Strike Source, who are morphed together with toilets. The series follows two sides: the suited individuals with camera heads and the toilets, as they fight against each other in a never-ending action-packed war. When you first look at these videos, it might just seem like a video game lover's fever dream. However, these meme-like videos have caused a bit of an uproar in the parenting world. There was a meme on the internet called Skibidi Toilet Syndrome, which is basically a fake illness that refers to children who watch way too much Skibidi Toilet. As a result, these kids have tried to replicate what they've seen in the episodes. The videos often include explosions, spinning around in toilets, or other weird scenarios. And although they may seem harmless, many kids tried to recreate these viral Skibidi Toilet videos, which results in kids being put in possibly dangerous situations, such as stuck inside home appliances or cramming themselves into small spaces. Despite a majority of people calling Skibidi Toilet Syndrome a hoax, some parents are genuinely concerned because children can be at real risk if they try to imitate what they see in the episodes. Setting aside the robot human toilets, another group of familiar characters dominated the YouTube Kids Explore page: My Little Pony. And although they had their fair share of inappropriate videos, there was more content that seemed to be associated with the fandom that kids should not have been seeing. In the My Little Pony community, there's an entire sub-community of those that are a fan of both the franchise and the horror genre. While most of this sub-community is made up of adults, their videos kept appearing on the YouTube Kids app. And that's because YouTube has a habit of confusing cartoons, especially ones with popular kid characters. One of these videos was called Cupcakes HD, infamous among the bronies, which is what the adult My Little Pony fandom call themselves. Cupcakes HD was an extremely graphic video that had the ponies doing some seriously messed up stuff. However, since the disturbing content was sandwiched between clips of ponies dancing in sync, the YouTube algorithm considered it acceptable to promote these videos to kids.
This video was very popular and was watched by so many children who didn't know any better, which honestly is very sad. It is a terrifying video. I watched it as a kid. I couldn't make it through the entire thing, but this is definitely one of those that kept me up at night.
There were countless other videos in the My Little Pony community that had similar, if not worse, scenarios. The entire fandom was infamous for creating animations that started off lighthearted but transform into something much more evil just minutes into the video. But all of this managed to get even creepier. The horror-loving bronies continued their downward spiral, eventually breaking off into niche subsections with interests that are too dark to fully explain. Fluffy pony. These are two words that you might associate with something cute and adorable, but you couldn't be more wrong. In fact, this is actually a subgenre of My Little Pony content that glamorizes the mistreatment of the ponies to the furthest extent. With so many kids searching up My Little Pony on the daily, it's no surprise that some kids stumble upon it. And believe it or not, many of these videos can still be found on YouTube today. But if you thought the cartoons were the end of the story for YouTube Kids, you might want to think again, because it's not just animation that thrives in Elsagate. Live action does too. The dark side of live action. While there are a ton of inappropriate animations out there, live action content on ElsaGate is also just as bad. There are many content creators that specialize in creating children's content on YouTube who are willing to do almost anything to secure the likes, subscribers, and advertising dollars. Many adult creators have catered their content toward kids because it's a highly profitable niche on YouTube. But rather than making child-friendly content, their videos often toe the line between appropriate and inappropriate. 123Go is one of those channels that feature adult creators making content aimed for kids. But instead of making their content more family-friendly, they took a different route. One of their most popular videos is called 7 Funny DIY School Pranks, featuring several prank ideas for kids to do at school, but some of the ones that are shown are far from being school appropriate, with some being dangerous.
Take a small wad of Play-Doh and cut it into a square with an X-Acto knife. Now drop it into an empty gum wrapper like this one here. Care to share the wealth there? Why, of course. How rude of me. Ever wonder if Play-Doh tastes like gum? We're about to find out.
With acts like this being marketed as pranks for kids and potentially being harmful, it's no wonder why parents are tentative about letting their kids freely browse the platform. And of course, we can't forget about one of the most infamous types of ElsaGate videos, the cosplay live actions. These videos have adult creators dressed up as characters like Elsa, Spider-Man, or the Joker, acting out pre-written and planned scenes for the camera. But more often than not, these scenes contain themes that are clearly inappropriate for kids. In one video, the Joker can be seen interacting with Elsa, but the situation takes a turn when he essentially kidnaps her with a jump rope. And to make her seem happy about the situation, he sprays her with a love potion, making her fall in love with him. On YouTube Kids, there are plenty of actual kid creators, but of course, given their age, their parents are the ones with most of the control behind the camera. And most of the time, the kids have little to no say in the content that actually goes live. Toy Freaks was one of the more popular kids channels on YouTube. The channel had a father and his 2 daughters as the faces, but rather than showcasing how a family can spend quality time together, the content was actually made at the expense of his 2 daughters and their happiness. The girls were dressed younger than they actually are, exhibiting baby-like behavior even if they were already much older. Because the dad kept producing disturbing videos of his daughters, the channel got banned. Unfortunately, this sort of family-style content was becoming a norm during ElsaGate. Plenty of parents took advantage of their kids by pushing them to create content that prioritized profits over the well-being of their children. Between 2015 and 2019, ElsaGate was becoming a growing problem without any clear solution in sight. But eventually, after being hammered again and again with concerns and complaints, YouTube finally did something to fight back against ElsaGate, trying to control the damage.
We're getting ourselves a new year, a new decade, and most importantly of all, a new YouTube. One that threatens to wipe out huge chunks of content and content creators that you know and love and have been watching since you were young.
In 2019, YouTube shocked its creators by announcing the implementation of COPPA policies on their platform. COPPA, which stands for Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, is a federal law aimed to protect young users of the internet. At the time, YouTube had already started addressing the issue of ElsaGate by removing more and more videos and monitoring comments for suspicious activity. The platform acknowledged that things needed fixing, and this event forced them to make the change. It was a $170 million fine that they were served in late 2019 by the FTC that finally sealed the deal.
If you create content for YouTube, this video is very important to watch as it describes changes to the upload process, all of your existing videos, and potentially your monetization.
At first, the backlash was intense. To the surprise and dismay of many content creators, YouTube wasn't only implementing COPPA on their kids' platform, they were pushing it onto YouTube as a whole. And of course, with a large number of creators who all specialized in content that varied from G-rated to raunchy and risque, there were plenty that felt like YouTube was slapping their content creators in the face with a policy that restricted their creativity. Content creators were worried about losing their ability to earn money because they realized that a lot of their previous content wasn't suitable for kids. Some referred to this policy as censorship and saw it as a major challenge for creative expression. Some believed it could be the end of their channels, while others said that it was the end of YouTube as a whole. So what exactly did COPPA mean for YouTubers? Now, all content that was uploaded needed to be manually marked by the creator as made for kids or not made for kids. But the guidelines weren't clear. Sometimes creators would make mistakes. Whether you were a kid's channel or not, you were subject to the same sort of strict monitoring by YouTube. Before COPPA was in place, there were plenty of channels who marketed themselves as kid-friendly just to get more views. YouTube had a thing for pushing out kids content, and some creators took advantage of that.
Then there are vlog channels that are posing as kid channels just to get more views.
But since the platform was cracking down on falsely advertised kids content, they showed no mercy to anyone who mislabeled their content. Additionally, YouTube was implementing stricter policies to ensure child safety on its platform. This included issuing warnings for videos containing swearing and also demonetizing any vulgar content on the platform. The FTC even mentioned this.
Not only can we sue Google and YouTube for compliance with COPPA, but also individual channel owners and content creators.
Most content creators had a pessimistic view of YouTube's future after the announcement of the COPPA policy. But putting this aside, did these new changes to the platform actually do what they intended to do? Did it stop ElsaGate? The resurgence of ElsaGate. YouTube did manage to do right. They cleared up the YouTube Kids app. Mostly. It's a lot more difficult now to find inappropriate content on the YouTube Kids platform than it was before. But there's one fact we need to face. YouTube Kids is not the main platform that children use to watch videos. While YouTube may have tackled the problem on YouTube Kids, most of their younger audience still use the main YouTube platform. And unfortunately, that's where ElsaGate has made a return and found its new home.
By 2018, YouTube had fully implemented a human curation team with over 10,000 members tasked with looking through videos on their kids app. This would make it easier for them to weed out harmful content for one half of the platform, but the main YouTube app was still infested with these videos.
This time, the ElsaGate creators have adapted their content to fit current trends. Disney princesses have been replaced with characters from franchises like Poppy Playtime, Minecraft, and Paw Patrol. In July of 2022, We Got This Covered published an article about the resurgence of ElsaGate animations. This time involving the children's TV series Bluey, which featured a blue puppy and his family going on fun adventures. Despite the happy theme of the show, the Bluey animations on YouTube were quite different. The official Bluey Reddit had to issue a warning to parents advising them to avoid these unofficial animations on YouTube. Another franchise that has become common in ElsaGate's resurgence is Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime is an indie horror game that has recently become a fan favorite after being played by popular content creators like Markiplier, and it's quickly becoming one of the fastest growing internet fandoms. But as we've already learned, not all fan-made content is appropriate. One of the more popular channels is Kissy Show. This channel creates live action videos while dressed as the game's characters Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. With over 1.9 million subscribers and over 1.2 billion channel views, it seems like Kissy Show may be leading ElsaGate this time around. The live actor for the female monster named Kissy Missy can often be seen with her undergarments worn on top of her leggings, or with a low-cut top on, which isn't exactly the best attire to be wearing for a kid's video. And the theme of the videos are pretty absurd to say the least. And of course, some animators have also joined in on the troubling resurgence of ElsaGate, probably motivated by the opportunity to make money from children's content. With ElsaGate content now on the regular YouTube platform, creators have gotten even sneakier in dodging YouTube's policies. Many of these channels put disclaimers on their videos or in the description stating that their content is not meant for young audiences. However, the way that they title and market their videos, it just seems like a tactic to get YouTube off their back. And with an ever-growing number of backup channels, they're able to keep making money even if it gets flagged or removed. Ultimately, I do understand that YouTube can't moderate every single video. And with ElsaGate making a comeback, if you see something that shouldn't be there, report it. Let's work together to create a safe space for children online. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist to watch more dark internet documentaries because the algorithm will promote my channel more if you guys watch multiple videos. Have an absolutely beautiful week. Peace.